Esports in the last game. I think that was the big question here for Ultra Prime, was like, what do we actually want to try and take here? So I imagine 369 will probably fall back towards the Gwen, and then we'll more than likely see something like the okay, actually we're just going to get the Lucian straight off the bat, and the Rumble.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't think we were going to get to go get the Rumble coming back in, but Rumble does do relatively well against an Olaf in the fact that you can like separate Olaf from his team, right? Lay down the red carpet as this like line drawn in the sand that stops the Olaf from being able to chase down. But looking at Smlz hovering the Aphelios, this is a crazy short-range composition from Ultra Prime now, so they definitely need a little bit more engage. The Thresh, obviously, to keep the Aphelios safe, but I certainly think they need to get something for ZS in the top lane, like a set or something along these lines that can set up these engages for Ultra Prime.
Always works really nicely with an Aphelios, and we start talking more about the team fighting capabilities of Ultra Prime. For top esports, we're seeing like an almost MSI patch for them, aren't we? We're getting the Lucian priority. We're getting the Rumble still as a top tier jungler, which we know isn't. But availability and selection process for TES. As Nautilus gets locked in, Dagda, we are in a similar position for the red side once again, where AD carry has not been selected, but this time for JackeyLove.
I'm curious now what the game plan is here. So for top esports, they're banning away Renekton. I actually think they leave open the Gwen in this scenario. 369 is a great Jayce player, and we've seen that Jayce can do pretty well into it. Same when it comes towards things like the Kennen. So maybe trying to bait ZS into taking that Gwen pick, or the opportunity to take it last pick for 369. Whereas for Ultra Prime side, AD carries at the port of call here. Something that can try and pair well with this Nautilus and get that heavy engage would be perfect for JackeyLove in that bottom lane. So they're taking away things like the Draven, probably Kalista soon to follow as well. And if not, you can always go back towards something like the Varus or something along these lines for JackeyLove on the opposite side.
Because, I mean, Varus is still that top tier pick. A good point here, Dagda, the same AD carry bands as you mentioned. Let's just see if top esports take that easy AD, and then they leave themselves up with a top counter pick. That's a very red side TES strategy, and it looks like they're going to go with it once again.
Yeah, and there it is. The Varus going to be locked in here. Now, the thing is, again, like, if you take the Gwen here, 369 has got a Kennen that he can go and pick, which works super well with top esports comp, and especially against that short range composition that Ultra Prime are playing. He can go back towards the Jayce and go full lane bully stall, which we've seen from before. So there's a lot of options here for top esports about what they want to go with for 369. For Ultra Prime side, we're just going to go back towards control mages. It's been ShiauC Bao's port of call, either the Orianna or the Viktor. I mean, we talked about him being a Vladimir player, but Vladimir into the Lucian ain't the best of matchups.
Oh no, he'd get absolutely blasted again. Trying to go on the defensive route once more, while Gwen this time for ZS, but Dagda, couple of picks up here that 369 could pull out. I mean, he's a Jax player, and we've seen a couple of people favor things like the Jax into the Gwen. Jayce as well, right?
And it fits perfectly with the composition that top esports have, right? You can go towards this heavy poke style. Like, that's what we're talking about. Kennen or Jayce are the two that I want to see here, because you get that poke. The Kennen gives you a bit more engage. The Jayce gives you a little bit more pressure in the lane, and synchronized as well with, hey, we've got a poke Varus, a culling from Lucian, a rumble equalizer, and the accelerated shot blast. Like, God forbid you try and walk anywhere where top esports has, because it's just like, this damage is just, this area is now eviscerated.
And you have yourself one frontliner, right? We talk about Olaf late game and what his role is as it changes from early skirmisher, a lot of source of that early damage, into just being a shield that can absorb for the Ultra Prime members, because poke Dagda versus some pretty good team fighting. Let's be quite realistic. Great scaling on Ultra Prime if they can get there.
Yeah, it's just a case of if they can get there. I think the mid-game spike from top esports is incredibly potent, massive, and we'll have to see if they're going to be able to use that. I think on the upside, as you said, like, if you can try and play this out a little bit slowly, try and deny some of these early dragons, which are Olaf, and also some of the priority you can get with this Aphelios in the bottom lane, I think you are actually in a pretty good spot. Now, I say priority, it's kind of like before you get the first couple of long swords into the Varus's hand, but certainly up until that 5-minute mark, Aphelios can keep good control around that bottom side of the map.
Yeah, he really can. I mean, Thresh lane, we know, strong 2v2, but going into game number 2, we've only spent 20 minutes on the Rift in this series so far. We want to see if Ultra Prime can hold off that aggression and deny Knight. Solo kill number 32. Now, as we've been seeing, you've seen on Twitter, I'm sure, as you've been seeing from some of our casters tweeting out, including you, Dagda, Knight is on 31 solo kills. He is tied at the world record right now. If he gets one more, he will hold the belt, and that is just so hard to beat. 32 solo kills in a regular season. that's a sign of a good performance, if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason everyone's looking at Knight going, yeah, the dude's back. Like, this is his meta. This is his time to shine. And it feels like now with 369 back in, it's like top esports time to shine as well. They look back in form. They look just as threatening as they did previously. We'll have to see now if they're going to be able to carry this across the finish line, get them to that 11-win spot that we were talking about, potential to run right the way up into those top 4 in the LPL coming into playoffs.
It's a big day for them as well. On that note, Dagda, top esports, if they win this, they're not 100% secured in playoffs unless FPX beat JDG, and then the number to secure is 9, which top esports will be on. I had to clarify that a bit before. I think I was all over the shop on that one. So important to note that for top esports, a win is still impactful, and still with the way FPX versus JDG is looking, should secure themselves as good trading up in the top side to start off. Dagda, jungle pathing, let's begin there, because Karsa on the Rumble, something we don't see too much anymore. Hacker on the Olaf, we see a hell of a lot now, are starting on opposite sides of the rift.
Yeah, and it means that Smlz and ShiauC should have first push coming into this bottom lane, set up at least for Hacker to guarantee himself one of these scuttles, especially when you're looking at the amount of pressure that are coming through from Knight and 369. The priority just means that you're never going to be able to contest the scuttle on the bottom or the top side of the map, so Hacker going to make his way down. But as you can already see, 369 punishing ZS so well in this top lane.
And with a very big gun. Karsa was top side. He still has his flash available. I'm just wondering. He put a ward down to get lens. Okay, very interesting, as we saw 369 utilizing it. Just giving us a bit more information. Karsa currently moving his way up to the top side of the map. And with 369, always a great avenue to start talking about, where this jayce who's just hit level 2 in front of a Gwen. We're going all in. Dagda, the way I see it, this game, this is a very slow start. Like, I know it's only 2 minutes, but I'm already like, where's the action at? You know when you get greedy for something, you have high expectations?
Yeah. You got spoiled in the last game, so I can understand entirely. But I think that, especially as you can see the heavy trading in topside here, we're going to get some explosive action when it comes towards how certainly the top and that bottom lane could potentially go. The matchup between Gwen and jayce is jayce favored, but certainly becomes easier. Oh, hang on.
Beautiful hook onto JackeyLove. Smlz's got the damage out as well. Half HP on the Varus as Zhuo drops the Ignite to temper the aggression. Smlz can't get that Calibrum connection. Top esports back away. This is what we saw in game number 1, especially with JackeyLove and Zhuo getting down low so early. It's just about Smlz and ShiauC keeping the aggression. Good dredge line. Heal comes out and JackeyLove puts down the damage, and Ultra Prime get hit back hard.
And I was about to say, the reason that I can see this aggression happening bot side is how good ShiauC is on this Thresh. And I didn't even get the words out before he ends up getting hooked back and taken below half HP. So didn't even get to curse him that time. But Karsa now just making his way through the mid lane. And he's buying a little bit of space for Knight to try and freeze this wave and create that slow push.
And we'll give him the opportunity as well to get some trades back on the lowless mana. I'm just going to say lowless mana. I'm going to stick with that for the time being. But
it's
look
littlest.
At where Hacker is.
Come on, littlest.
Littlest, the littlest mana. Dagda, Hacker's bot. Now, this is a full HP bottom lane. I would be scared. Half HP on the bottom lane themselves. JackeyLove is going to get flayed in, and first blood goes to the AD. Smlz and ShiauC die. Zhuo around playing mini games. Everyone dies. Why did they dive that?
I have no idea. ShiauC was so low, and they just insta-killed him. You can see Zhuo and JackeyLove were like, yeah, we're killing this dude, we're focusing him, cool. Instantly goes down. Smlz ends up tanking next as well. It's a disaster, as there's just nothing there for Ultra Prime to get. Why? Like, what? All right, so ShiauC goes in. Hacker, I don't even know if he... So Hacker didn't even start taking the tower aggro. It was ShiauC who started off the tower aggro, so he goes down. Smlz auto attacks next, which means he's go down, and Hacker's already taking damage now. ShiauC.
As now ShiauC's fed up, he's like, let's get the top lane, and this is a really nice gank. He makes up for it, brings in the Dark Passage, and picks himself up the 3rd kill of the game. Of course, kill participation I referred to, and getting ZS in a comfortable matchup.
That's a rage roam if I've ever seen one.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as a support, if you end up in a play like that and it's all gone disastrously, you instantly just go, right, I'm out, I'm going elsewhere, and then you'd, like, reset the mental by getting that kill topside. So, at least being in a better spot here is JackeyLove actually getting some decent trade against Smlz.
He is. The Varus using this rated Dirk early nicely. Remember, there is a Vampiric Scepter. And Zhuo's starting to move around as well. He's got the Ninja Tabi after picking up 2 of those kills. The Nautilus has a bounty, Dagda. That just goes to show you what happened. As Hacker's walking in at level 5, but Karsa is going to rely on his support to start zoning away.
Yeah, Karsa not able to actually pick up any of those chickens, overheated, so wasn't quite able to finish them off, and Hacker actually managed to get that camp, so not really gaining too much from that invade, but you can still see, even if we have got like some shenanigans happening on the bottom side of the map, relatively speaking, the goal is still in favor of top esports.
Yep.
CS leading the top, a small CS leading mid. It's still looking good for top esports here.
It is. You know, even if it is only that small gold lead, I think the important part is seeing a Varus with early lethality down here in the tier to start stacking up. ShiauC, the hook's onto Zhuo, but Dredgeline in return as Karsa's coming down. Dark Passage bringing Hack up, but with the Rumble now having numbers advantage, top esports are like, come at me, the flash down immediately, and it's gone wrong once again. Overheating in front of the turret. Gravatum there, but Smlz doesn't have the activation. Eventually does come through, but not enough damage. Turret goes down, and JackeyLove's on a sniping mission. He has flash, and I know JackeyLove, if Smlz comes back in, that Aphelios is going to die.
Still, though, it's more kills going the way of top esports bottom side, and again, they're getting this early control, and they're moving over towards this dragon. We said, hey, one of the things that Ultra Prime can do to try and stop this early contest from top esports, buy themselves a bit of time in this game, is deny these early dragons, but right now they're not getting the chance to do it because top esports have been playing so well on this bottom side.
They really are. Another kill goes down this time over to JackeyLove as well. Bounty on both of the heads of the bottom laners. This next back going to be crucial, Dagda. We're going to see a lot of items, but no. Chains of Corruption hit. JackeyLove takes him down. It's a solo kill as ShiauC late to the party. The Hail of Arrows gets the slow, and now Hacker's here. There's no saving grace as he flashes away. He's dead anyway. He's trying to buy time for Karsa, but he knows that the kill's going to be given over and the bounty that I just pulled up.
And it's unfortunate United literally just TP'd back towards that mid lane, so he's not able to come down and try and help out, but actually get a decent amount of poke off onto ShiauC under the turret himself, so a kill apiece for the two teams on the bottom side. But again, like, the reason that we talk about 369 coming back into this as he gets a really good trade against ZS is that, like...
Oh no. Dagda, is this it? Is this it? Is this kill number 32 on the ShiauC? The flash away. He has his own flash, but he doesn't want to risk it. I'm sorry to interrupt there as the flash from the top lane. This game delivering. 10 kills, 7.5 minutes. I guess it is just like game one.
Interrupt away. If this is going to be solo kill territory for Knight, you can interrupt me all day. Okay. I'm ready. I've got the popcorn on. I'm going to put my feet up and just watch and enjoy. But I still want to like come back to the point, which was Knight and 369 are so much better at using the pressure that has been relieved when they see Hacker on the bottom side of the map. It's why they've kind of fallen back to the styles that QingTian just wasn't able to bring that in the laning phase. Now, though, you see ShiauC hovering in the bush, seeing if he can set something up, but no jungler on this side of the map.
JackeyLove almost has Chains of Corruption as well. They have to be careful down there. And as tempo continues to sway this game, Hacker looking towards the top side will be spotted out by a ward and might have to back away. But Dagda, Herald's here. We didn't get a chance to talk about it in the first game because it was blood in each and every lane instead of talking about the objective. But this time around, things have slowed down for a tiny bit. As there's the equalizer, not going to get a solo kill here, but at least the kill coming through as Karsa runs into him. It's an Olaf looking for his early access to damage. He trades the kill as Lucian picks up the other one. First kill for Knight here in game 2.
Nice job, but you do get the trade back again from Ultra Prime. Maybe he can get on ShiauC.
Is the assist still there? That's the biggest question. Flash not available as Dredgeline in the bottom lane. Chains of Corruption, depth charge. Another kill goes down. This series absolutely wild as Smlz on the return path. He's got himself an ultimate, but Zhuo with the Dredgeline forces the flash away. And this is what I do this job for. Screw the slow games. Screw games that have a kill per 10 minutes. This is great.
This is what we come to the LPL for. And this is why you tune into games that even if they don't look like they're going to be the most stellar on paper, they always deliver so much blood, so many kills, and 369 even looking for one himself.
He is. Big explosive damage coming through. The Gwen, even with a kill, down 30 CS, and 369 really putting on a clinic in this matchup. Another reason we talked this guy up, his return was great. This series, 369 has been great as well, despite getting ganked. And the top esports know they have pressure on the top lane. The Herald starts up. The Dredge line's there. ShiauC walks into certain disaster as Knight gets another one in 369. Close to his solo kill. Turret stops aggroing. Here's a shock blast, but a minion wave lands in the way the needlework. A bit to the left. but it was a good sidestep from 369. Karsa coming in as well, and Zhuo, he's already got 2 kills. Can he get a third one? The support flashes and dashes. He survives in the end. And Top Esports playing with their food.
Top Esports in these insanely close dives. Name a better duo. Actually, Hacker, he's going to spot him.
369 can't help him. Undertow gets another bounty retrieval. And Hacker now with the most gold on Ultra Prime side.
I mean, Hacker's just been playing cleanup duty, right? Every single time, just managing to finish off these low health bars. And again, we're seeing action just across the board. Now, it does mean that we're keeping in touching distance with this 2k gold lead. As 369 is in trouble.
Oh, well, he's already burnt Ghost. He's diving and he just takes it down. Hacker is trying to 1v9 this one, Dacta.
He's going to have to at this stage. 5, 3, and 2. A bounty for his name. The Gore Drinker already completed as well. This is a big Olaf. And especially when you get to this position, you finish off a Sterix, you can do a hell of a lot of work in these fights. Especially from that 15 to 20 minute mark.
Here we go again. Box Flay shut down. Number 17, 18 of this game. I don't know. Bounties are being transported between time and space at this point. And ShiauC Bao, after your TP's down, not going to be able to pick up any of that.
I love that this game has been like, the objectives are not dragons, they're not Rift Heralds, they're not Barons, they're kills. We haven't had a dragon before the 10-minute mark in any of these games. It has been purely kills, blood, and trying to scorch earth Ultra Prime in this game as Top Esports. I thought Zhuo was going to go for it, but honestly, I think I'm just conditioned now that whenever we go to somewhere else in the map, there's going to be kills.
Yeah, I mean, every time the camera pans over in this 17-kill game, I think something's going to happen, like up here. 369 has been doing that now with the Eclipse versus the Leeching Lair. Feeling pretty confident, as he always has been in this matchup, right? So that's all we need to talk about in this game. How the matchups are going, how the lanes are going. Dragon was de-aggroed, but now Hacker will finally clean it up. 12 minutes in, first Dragon, and it, again, showcases what we're watching.
Yeah, and I think the big thing now that we need to look at is like Top Esports, if they want to try and snowball the lead that they have, we need to start getting them active in those or other lanes, and specifically Knight as well, right? His TP is going to be up way before ShiauC. They're going to want to try and make these number advantage plays as they...
Good equalizer, but the Chaos Storm deters. Karsa comes through, his ulti drops down, zones away. I like that Hacker is always here to support the play. I mean, he needs to be at this point, right?
Definitely, especially when you're getting this much pressure from Karsa and Knight. And as you can see there, at least the silence, or at least the channel interrupt coming through from the ultimate, stopping Knight from being able to put more potential damage down. But this has been a pretty close game, and I think it's impressive from Ultra Prime that they've been able to go for blow in a lot of these situations, keeping in touching distance of Top Esports in all time. And again, remember what we said. You want time to scale here as Ultra Prime, so the fact they aren't falling crazy far behind speaks volumes to what their game plan can be. And when you've got this Olaf who's ahead, he can look to carry.
I mean, get this early game under control, and you're right, scaling becomes a big topic of discussion as Undertow doesn't connect, but Chilling Smite into Ragnarok. I believe this man is Ragnar Lothbrok. Undertow connects again. 369 can't get out as he's whacked on down. All hail the king as Knight looking for ShiauC. Karsa, don't you dare. ShiauC walks away. There's the Rift Herald, and look, Knight has been close to getting solo kill number 32. We wait with bated breath. Oh my god.
Zhuo looking for Smlz.
How do you cast this? Chains of Corruption. Zhuo has a depth charge. Smlz can't take the Dark Passage. And now Karsa's in here to take down a man and his lantern. Knight angry. Locked up his wife in there. Thresh did. And now he wants revenge. 1 versus 4. A support's dream absolutely crushed in a matter of seconds.
Look, if Top Esports really cared about him, what they would have done is actually just tanked up the turret, let Knight solo kill out the Thresh, and got his win. But clearly, Top Esports just don't care. You know, that's all I'm saying. They could have just done it for him. It was a sitting duck.
That's right. Look. At this point, Dagda, quick check-in on the gold, I think is important. 3,000 gold lead to Top Esports. And what we were saying is keeping the gold even, keeping it as close as possible was what they wanted to do. But Top Esports have once again pushed that to the limit of 369. He's in rotation. This Olaf getting some kills as Undertow into Ragnarok once again. But Zhuo here to maybe save the day. He has no backup. Dredgeline is a bit of a bait to pull them on. Chaos Storm is ticking! It's ticking! But he's out. Zhuo is out. He's going to bring it through. As teleport in from ZS. Knight's handling the wave. And my God, this is just all happening at once.
I mean, I don't even get to talk this game. This has just been action after action after action, and I'm loving it. And again, you can see, we were talking about Hacker. He's the guy that needs to be the carry, facilitate Ultra Prime getting to that late game portion. Well, he's doing a fantastic job grouping up with ShiauC, grouping up with ZS, looking for top esports when they're in rotation, finding these picks. It's what you need to do here as Ultra Prime.
JackeyLove, there's Dark Passage here. I think JackeyLove's just dead. Ignites down, he flashes over the wall, but it's matched here by Smlz into shurikens. He comes close, as ShiauC might just have to finish this one off, but Hacker gets him with a smite, as Karsa gets him with an ultimate. Over the wall, he's flashing. This rumble with Night Harvester now with 3 kills.
It's just again, trading tip for top, but Top Esports just about coming out on top, and now they are firmly in the lead. A 4,000 gold lead. Dragon in a minute if they want to try and look for it. Bunch of vision for themselves. Is
okay.
Okay, I think we're okay. I think we're okay.
Troll's on his way up as well. Look at this Nautilus. He's so hungry. 9 out of 13 kill participation for the Naut. I'm trying to look across the board. 9 on the other side for the Olaf. And ZS standing on a wall, but Zhuo not going to stick around. Still, let's bring it back. Calamity down for the time being. Just about a 4K gold lead here for Top Esports. We have another Herald that has just spawned. We've got a Dragon in 35 seconds. A lot of objectives that Top Esports can start setting up for.
Knight being a bit of a jerk, just making sure he can stop the recall from Hacker. But as he said, I mean, look, you can all start to roam down here. Rift Herald is up as well, so looks like Top Esports going to take that objective and then use that to try and create pressure mid as they go towards the Dragon. Ultra Prime not even really in a position to try and contest this. They are firmly focused on trying to stack and rack these Dragons right now.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a late game that we talked about for Ultra Prime, let's remember that even though the first Dragon was super late once again in this game, the fact that it's going to stack up at about 30-something minutes is great for them. They'll be strongest then. They'll be able to look for Soul or deny it, depending on how this is going to go. I think it's important to note that for Ultra Prime, still a lot to look forward to in this game. If it can be blow for blow and not fall out of favor, like it's starting to do with his last couple of kills.
Oh, ShiauC.
He sees blood. He wants to do it. JackeyLove does a lot of damage at this point as well, folks. Look at Hacker on the side, level 11. This Olaf, he's got braided hair and he's ready to go. 1800 HP, equalizer, beautiful. It zones off as ShiauC waiting in the brush, but Dragon has not been taken. JackeyLove poking down, not much to Hacker as the culling comes through onto ShiauC. Knight almost does enough damage, but it forces them off the Dragon. And for once, teams do not shed blood.
Yeah, first Dragon gone the way of Top Esports. Ultra Prime not really able to get into a position to try and counteract that. And now we'll go back to spreading out on the map, having Knight and 369 trying to see if they can play through these side lanes. Although, as I say that, looks like ShiauC is down here to just make sure ZS can put some pressure on this bottom turret.
I love this tactic. You're always setting me up for the play. You're always setting me up for the call. You're conditioned now after this game. And, you know, running into game 2, just what's on the line super quick, guys, and why we're having so much fun with this game. Ultra Prime have been out for a while. What they're fighting for here is just to be kingmakers, to be upsetters. After game 1, Top Esports looks so much in favor that game 2 is a bit more refreshing because at this point in the game, Top Esports were breaking down inhibitors. They were breaking down the base and putting the finishing touch on what was a very quick opening game.
I mean, we're still getting just a bloody performance here from both teams. ShiauC, we'll spot out the Zhuo here, and I don't know if you want to go to the safety of the turret. I think you might want to, you know, dip back to the base here, although Hacker is on the way, so potential here for a big skirmish on the top side.
Let's see what he can do. He has Steric's Gauge on the Olaf in that note, but there is a 2-item rumble as well with Morel and Omicron. Knight just going to absorb the turret damage, or rather gold, as this will be another charge with how deep Top Esports are in the enemy jungle.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get the second charge here. 250 gold if Knight can get that local gold as well. So a lot of potential money being stored in this Lucian right now. Knight's actually got like mid lane turret. He's been farming reasonably well. He's got a lot of these turrets on the side lanes as well. So despite the fact he's, I'm going to say, quote unquote, only 3 kills, Knight is still really damn big with the Gale Force Sorelda's Grudge now completed as well.
I do like the Sorelda's Grudge going up against the Olaf, right? You know, giving yourself a bit to deal with here from the passive that Olaf's ultimate carries, remember, with the armor and MR. So, feels like here a nice little bisecond. Dagda, we do have 2 items pretty much across the board for Top Esports. And when you said in draft that this comp spikes in the mid game, even though it's only a 4K gold lead, it is going to feel like 8 if Top Esports are able to have their way with the poke that we highlighted that we've been seeing all game.
And it means that if you try to go towards these like dragons that are coming up, something like the Baron, if you plonk yourself down there as Ultra Prime, there's going to be so much damage that's coming your direction. And some people can tank it up, right? ZS still has the Hollowed Mist to make sure that he's not going to take too much damage. Hacker can try and heal it up as well because he is Olaf. But for people like Smlz, ShiauC, this is going to stick and be a major issue for them when they try to contest these objectives.
Yeah, it is in 2 minutes time, right? Baron up as well. Top Esports controlling the vision for now. And Knight pushing in the top wave, 369 hovering bot, but both solo laners have a TP if they need to be adaptive. Chase onto Knight. Hacker's actually on a ward, and the Undertow going through brush, that would have been seen. And now Knight in bush as well. Onto Hacker. There's a lot of damage. Serelda's Grudge. Dark Passage. Knight so hungry for the world record. But ShiauC gets a nice hook. Shouts out Bow in a choke with a Chaos Storm. Means bottom lane sent out in that TP. That's deep. This is how Ultra Prime come into the game. But the burst from JackeyLove does enough to dissuade while ZS gets into the thick of it. But he too will not eventually die. He'll take it all.
And you can see just separation there from Top Esports. They couldn't get the pieces working together, and now Ultra Prime, they turn towards the Baron.
Knight doesn't have culling, doesn't have flash, dodges away from the hook. 1 versus 5, or let's make that 2. Teleport to the bottom lane, he says forget it. Baron's gone. 369's going to try and steal, but he's a little too late. And ShiauC, oh my god! He dies! I don't know how. DOT.
Scorch is a crazy rune sometimes, managing to just barely take down the Thresh. At least he gets one back, but a big win for Ultra Prime. Look at the gold. It's 1,000 gold now. And a lot of this starts with, Knight having a good shot on towards Hacker. And it looks like it's going to be a reasonably okay fight. But this hook from ShiauC catching JackeyLove. Burst out by ShiauC. And as well, the Equalizer not really doing too much. And this entire time, Ultra Prime are just playing underneath the turret, keeping themselves safe until ZS arrives alongside Smlz, and they just tear apart the separated Top Esports.
It's just a beautiful TP flank at that as well. I mean, ZS got into position because of where that ward was. They were able to pick up the Baron. Ultra Prime, we said they're kingmakers. And right now, putting a thorn in the side of Top Esports in this second game. Remember, TES need to win today alongside FPX to make that magic number 9 lock-in playoffs for not just TES, but a lot of our teams in the league. So Ultra Prime can get down to the nitty-gritty and start being a bit of a nuisance in the side of this playoff-ready team. As now the gold bag to only 1,500, they're going to get some turret plating, and the team that scales is starting to get close to being even again.
And that's what I wanted to bring up. Those third items have been started across the board. Cosmic Drive for ZS. You're looking at that bottom lane at the Infinity Edge coming through from Smlz. That's the difference maker. That's the time when this game breaks up in favor of Ultra Prime, but maybe Smlz nearly broken apart before we get to that point.
But some good dark passages. I mean, ShiauC's had a pretty rough game, let's be real, 1-7-7, but has had some good death sentences on the playmakers in the past. We've always highlighted him. I think he's one of the best blitz cranks in the league, one of the best hook champions in the league. He definitely got me into Hook City, and I think I've been staying for the ride ever since he came in on the E-Star roster in 2019. So he's doing his job, and so is ShiauC at this point as he picks up another turret. Dagda, gold, even at 24 minutes.
And look what ShiauC just picked up. Straight off the bat, just 2 needlessly large rods. This dude is going to be picking up that Rabadons. That burst damage that we were talking about is going to be even crazier. And as you can see, like, Ultra Prime have been doing a pretty good job of finding these fights against Top Esports. Top Esports haven't been trying too much to be playing at range. ShiauC has been on point with the hooks when he needs to be. And if that's going to be the case, well then Ultra Prime can find these fights and deny...
Oh, Zhuo used his stretch line, has to go gold, and Top Esports still willing to fight the equalizer though. I'll be honest, not the greatest one is JackeyLove. Chains of Corruption doesn't hit, nor does the arrow. And those are a couple of ultis down, not in front of any objective, but still, Top Esports now with a couple of their kit.
ShiauC though still looking here, meets 369.
They're too far forward. It's just dodge, 369. That was a 9 play if he can get out for sure, but maybe it reverts to a 6 as he gets traded off. Support for top lane are not worth this draw with a depth charge. Dredge line doesn't connect. And now Knight's going in, culling over the wall, dodges away from Hacker. The Lucian 3-0 and superb in this game. JackeyLove trying to purse them over the wall with the poke as well. And ZS from the flanking angle. Look at Hacker. Chilling Smites down. Undertow connects. Ooh, we're getting tension once more.
The problem, though, is that they don't really have any way of engaging onto this with ShiauC now gone. So you can see top esports, yes, they're kind of falling back, but they're constantly getting that poke down, constantly getting the damage in, and Ultra Prime need to walk away. So we'll reset now. Look at 2.5 minutes for this next dragon, the third dragon potentially for top esports. Ultra Prime as well, keeping their eyes on the 2 minutes for that Baron. They would love to secure themselves another one, but we'll get this replay here. 369. He just managed to burst out ShiauC. He's only got the Mikhail's Crucible. He's not tanky. And just a nice play here to stop the two the skies and forcing 369 to stay that little bit too long means they're able to trade that one back.
Yeah, and remember again, for Ultra Prime, now with the gold lead, by the way, however small, have to be careful. ShiauC's a bit deep. Electro Harpoon doesn't connect, though. He's out. There was not enough slow. Dredge line wasn't in range as Zhuo was over a wall, so once again, ShiauC caught out, but top esports can't punish.
And we're getting Ultra Prime getting their waves in order, right? You just got ShiauC about pushing that out on top side. ZS is going to make his way down bot here. So certainly when it comes towards the ability to try and hold top esports accountable towards their sides and get a better position on towards these objectives, it looks like Ultra Prime are doing their due diligence, especially when you look at the items as we talked about just being finished. Rabadon's Death Cap now completed for ShiauC about. He is going to be huge in these fights as long as Ultra Prime can get in the right position.
Well, they've been pretty much managing to hold the right position for the last couple of plays now. And especially in those chokes with the Viktor. I like that you mentioned the item there. Feels like the Chaos Storm is going to blast apart the squishy team comp that is top esports if they get in range. But top esports back on the aggressive, trying to poke them down. This is moments before Baron. If they can get a pick with 40 seconds to go in Baron, might be top esports who can bring the reins in this game back in.
Yeah, and you can see the top esports are trying to use the siege potential that they have to force priority mid, stopping Ultra Prime from getting access to this river on both sides. But it is going to be a case of, you can see Ultra Prime can just try and look to hard force it, try and see if they can fish a couple of these hooks with ShiauC. No real wards though for ShiauC about or ZS to TP to, so we won't get that big flank like we had in the last fight.
No, we won't. I like that you're keeping track of summoners here. The ward as well. Control's important. Dagda. Huge TP ward, though. Look at top. Do you see that brush up there? You see the control ward? If we're talking Baron and we're talking wave passing through, there's a lot of opportunity as Cullen comes through. They've gone too far forward. Knight, is it a solo kill? No, it's not. Everyone else involved as karsa is burning them to asunder. Ultra Prime, though, this is a team fight with ZS in the backline. Gwen's hit that potency in the game as Chaos Storm's doing the same. It doesn't matter. Ultra Prime have their items, and now they have their control.
It's too late. Top esports, we said we needed to get you going in this mid game, but third item for the Viktor, ZS having this Gnasher's Tooth as well. They can turn the fight as soon as top esports get too close. Now they turn over towards the Baron. Top esports, you get the consolation prize of the Dragon, but Ultra Prime got what they needed.
Second Baron of the game as well, 2k gold lead. I don't think Knight's quick enough on this. He has to back away. So it will be a second Cloud. There won't be a soul that top esports can then force into the Elder Dagda. Looking good here for a game number 3 as Ultra Prime with the turret, with the Baron. They move to about 4,000 when this looked like a top esports favored game.
And it looked like it should have been a top esports favorite fight at the start of this as well, right? Because ShiauC goes down. We're talking about him being the big engage tool here. He gets bursted so quickly. Good. Smlz has to flash away as well. But top esports, they just take that step too far forward, trying to get on towards Smlz. And when they do, ZS turns. You get ShiauC about, look at the Chaos Storm. He holds it for so long and finally ends up using it as a burst out karsa. It's ticking over on 369. Really strong positioning from both ShiauC about and ZS in this fight means that they're constantly having access to those crucial members on top esports side.
And we are getting that level of Viktor Crumb. You know, Harry Potter, you see him for the first time. He's literally, you know, all the boys come in. They've obviously done lifting weights, and as he gets picked out, everyone knows, oh, of course, it's Viktor Crumb. 206, 3.5 items, and I don't want to ruin Goblet of Fire for you guys. If you haven't watched Harry Potter, I'm sorry, it's been a while. He gets bewitched, he turns into something bad, but before that, you know that he's a loose unit. So look for ShiauC Bao, the level 17 Viktor, who's had a pretty good return to form in this series. And so have Ultra Prime here once again to look to take us to a game number 3. Side lanes at the ready, ZS taking yet another turret. and the map starting to belong to UP.
ShiauC with a good hook on towards Zhuo, but they're really just trying to get control over this jungle, deny the opportunity for top esports to get that poke, because this is a pretty difficult opportunity here for Ultra Prime, just because of the amount of poke, just as the chains of corruption go wide.
Again, I'm sorry, but again, Dagda, he's 5 and 6 this game. This is definitely like the dichotomy of JackeyLove as a player. And even to the Viktor, he's not doing too much damage with the Zhonya's Hourglass, with the higher level mid laner. You can't do too much here as top esports, and Dagda, now you're going to have to tell me the perfect play for TES to try and bring this game back.
Their only hope is looking at these Ultra Prime, looking at these objectives that are going to be spawning, right? Because if you end up with Ultra Prime all sitting in these pits, you can start to get a lot of burst damage off. You can start to choke them in that pit as well between depth charges and equalizers, although ShiauC already fall into an equalizer there. But as long as this Baron is up, it becomes really difficult to try and hold on. But at least the wave clear, the long range that they have, is making it easier to get that poke off and keep these waves pushed back from their base.
At least trying for the time being, right? Getting spread thin though. Baron buff about to expire in 10 seconds. Ultra Prime picked up 3k off of this power play. As Chaos Storm once again on the chase. But Karsa manages to get away with the scrap shield once again. Time is here, Dagda. 2.5 for the Dragon. Baron will be up again in 3. So we coincide once again with close timers that Ultra Prime can take either. I just want to come back and say a Cloud Soul in this game for UP is like, yeah, whatever. We'll take it when we want.
And again, it's more so just about trying to force these fights. But I think if I'm top esports, I don't even care about them picking up that third dragon. I want to see if I can try and push in through these side lanes, buy the advantage back on the map. Because the best way for top esports, if they can't find these opportunities and objectives to get Ultra Prime to make these plays, you can start to look to get pressure on the map and collapse on mid lane turrets, look to siege down, and find easier ways to use that range advantage. But right now, with where the waves are positioned, it's super difficult for them to actually find those opportunities to set up sieges for their composition.
Oh, God. We'll keep rattling through it, right? I like that you keep bringing up core words like difficulties. Undersells it, doesn't it, at this point? So we'll just wait for the objectives, right? I want to point out 4 out of the 5 members of Ultra Prime have a bounty here. More importantly, ShiauC has more deaths than everyone on his team combined. So he's definitely been in it or out of it in any given play. What is it? 9 is half of 18. Yes, so half the kills of Ultra Prime. Yeah. ShiauC has in deaths. I did math, Dagda. You should be proud.
I mean, you're doing better than me on the math front today, and more difficult math as well. I'm struggling with the 4 to 5 year old math, so fair play.
Well, it's all right. Maths is not important in life, guys. I'm sorry to talk anyone out of, school or whatever. If you're an accountant, do math. If you're not, don't worry about it. It's boring. We know math is boring. You know what's cool? Computer games. And am I boring? What else is cool? I'm not even sure. I'm not sure. I'm just waiting. Guys, I'm shooting the bill a little bit because it's 30 seconds till Dragon. We know how this game's looking. And top esports are doing poke, but the poke isn't really registering.
It's not at all, especially as we said, look, Hacker, he's able to kind of heal it up. He's very tanky at this stage as well, having finished off his armor items as well, and Ultra Prime now trying to position him mid.
Hacker has a nice angle here. Oh, Knight actually gets bursted down. You're right. This is what's going to happen. Onto Hacker, though. Straight to the Ragnarok. Is the burst enough? Equalizer, no culling. Avoided with a bit of a golden timing as ZS is front-lighting. Gwen is immune. A massive lull. Is over the wall. Shouts out Bow with a hero play. Top esports still scattered, though, as Karsa's trying to burn down. They're getting trades here, but Zhuo will be the next one to die. 3 for the price of 1. Knight the only one alive alongside 369 and Dire Straits once again.
And Knight, he's got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He's going to try and cut the wave, see if he can stop this push coming through from Ultra Prime, but I think it's too little too late. They've got the wave. They're tanking it up. They're looking for the end.
Well, top esports, not a bit easy series here. A quick game number 1 turns into the late game scaling that Ultra Prime knew they had from the get-go. 4 onto the Nexus turrets. Knight flashes away. He hasn't picked up his solo kill this game. As 369 gets absolutely blasted. The Lucian trying his heart out here on death's door, but it's Ultra Prime who take us the distance in game 2.
And Ultra Prime played that incredibly well. We said, hey, look, top esports, yes, they're getting these early advantages, but Ultra Prime consistently trading back and forth. Maybe it's one or two kills going in favor of top esports, but it was always keeping it with the gold lead within touching distance, never giving the opportunities for top esports to start these early objectives, look for these early dragons. It meant when we got to the later portion of the game, there was no pressure on them to fight. They managed to get towards their 3 items. You can see ShiauC as well, as soon as he got that Rabadon's death cap, that was the turning point. That's where this game went in favor of Ultra Prime.
I mean, look at the gold lead. It was huge. It was 4,000 in the lead for top esports. And then JackeyLove getting hooked a couple too many times. That fight in the choke dagger, I think, is a really important one for me because of how much ShiauC got from it, because of how easy it was for Ultra Prime, especially with the TP flank. Top esports walked into danger, and they underestimated Ultra Prime.
Yeah, and again, it was just kind of sloppy and messy from top esports. We said, look, one of the things that QingTian did bring was a very definitive engage tool. 369, he did get ahead. His lane advantage was great, but unfortunately in those team fights, he was spread out with Knight. They were on one side of the wall for that fight that you're referencing over towards the Baron. You could see as well, then you've got JackeyLove and those separate as well. JackeyLove gets hooked at the start of the fight as well by ShiauC, so you end up in these crazy fights that you're able to bring back this lead as Ultra Prime and eventually close it out.
Well, Dagda, a game 3 that no one expected. I have to say, you know, top esports have had wavering games, right? This is so symbolic of their their regular season so far. Against Suning is a flashback. Against Rogue Warriors, we had that game. Even after top esports started the series looking so great. You don't know with this team. You can say they're playoff ready, but then you see games like this that make you think, well, that's not the 2020 top esports that were consistent, that were a trident unconditionally. JackeyLove still having a couple of issues.
Yeah, and on the opposite side, I think this is kind of reminiscent of one of the points that you brought up at the start of the day, Hysterics, is that Ultra Prime, like, we've seen these moments from them. We've seen that they can be a very good team when they're given the opportunity to get themselves to the right spot. And I think this was one of the games that really showcased this. We've seen it against teams like WE, LNG as well, where they're able to pick up these games. Now they're pushing top esports to the limit as well.
Yes, they are, as we go to a game 3, folks. A quick break. Remember, you're not missing out on any matches today. Match of the week, JG versus FPX, is not delayed. It's all in Shanghai, so we're going to see game number 3, and then, uninterrupted, go into JG FPX right after this.